What's good, everybody? It's Ace Corner Talk. Peace, peace, peace. Sorry about the technical difficulty. Ran into some issues, man, trying to get this broadcast up, but I finally got it, so I think we in good standings now. Let me let me for 1 second go to a page real quick, and what I do is I pull up the chat so I could be able to see what everybody talking about. So just want to say peace to everybody. Hopefully everything is Gucci. Hope everything is Gucci. All right, cool. Got the chat up. Like I said, peace to everybody. Peace to Main Man Logic. What's good with you, bro? I see you, the first one in the chat. Um, yeah, just wanted to give y'all a recap. Me and Logic got some things going on, man. Hopefully we'll be able to start sharing and pulling out some of these ideas that we have. Hopefully, y'all will be very excited about the things that we got up and coming. We're gonna try to make it interesting. We're gonna try to make it um, innovative. We just want to reinvent what we have done in the past. So we just want to keep bringing newer and newer things. Uh, we want to talk about today um, about the Keneeka Jenkins story. Now, this is the first time I spoke on it. I mean, first time on live, first time even mentioning her name in any title that I have or anything. Only because I just, so many people are covering it. I felt the need not to want to do it. I just was looking on the situation, not really wanting to join in or none of that. But for the most part, I think what I did want to talk about today is where are all the men in this particular situation? Now, I see all of the women. I see her mother. I see her sister. I see aunts or whoever else speaking up. But I have not seen any men speaking up in this particular situation. I have not seen the male energy coming forward and being the forefront or part of the forefront in this situation. And this is something I want to talk about because it leads me to the conclusion of why have why have the men now been playing the victim role or playing the passive role. I can always bring back history, and we can always talk about how back in our tribal days, back in the Indian days, when the men did anything in honor, they always fought to the death. They always came forward with their their uh, their perspectives. They always came forward with their aggressiveness. They always came forward with their man like nature to handle situations. You know, you had tribal warriors, you had Zulu warriors, you had the head of nations, captains, whatever. But it seems like now in today's society, the way we have it is that a lot of the men that we see now, the mass majority of them have been playing victim roles. And I have not seen yet, outside of a few people trying to get money or a couple of dollars off of what they're doing, but outside of that, have not really seen the aggressiveness from the men like I know have been in the past. Now, when you take a look at the situation, I want to know one or two things. Where are the males at in, or where are the males in the young lady's life that was a victim to this tragedy? Now, my opinions is this because I never said it, but I will say it now. My opinions about the situation is that I believe there was some type of foul play. I don't believe she was just that drunk to fall into a freezer and get caught in there. I it's just my thinking. Any person with uh, a decent a decent amount of logic and main thinking would not agree that that was something that she did or caused. I think personally that was something that had to do with a third party or a second party, rather. When you look at this picture, not the lack of men pushing the issue, the lack of men standing up saying, we're not going for this, we're not going to stand for this, where the cousins at, where the nephews at, where the father at, where the stepfather, whoever, where all the men that should be standing up right now saying, we're not going for this. This was my cousin. This was my daughter. This was my, whatever. Where are the men in this Keneeka Jenkins situation? Because I believe that if there was more male energy being brought forward, that it would put a lot more pressure on the mainstream media, put a lot more pressure on what is taking place. It would have put a lot of pressure on a whole lot of the people that are commentating about the Keneeka Jenkins situation. As I look at how crazy it has gotten, some people say it's not her in the picture. Some people saying it's not her in the camera. Some people saying that, it's foul play, which I believe. There's so many different scenarios coming out about this. Now, how do we draw the conclusion about what's real? Where are the men? Why only a certain particular aspect of it is being brought forward rather than them straightforward addressing it? Now, with the men, at any given time, she could have, the mother could have somebody representing the family with the male energy. All I'm saying is the only clip that I've seen with any males in it was her speaking with a male texting behind her. So my thing is, why haven't any of the men in her family stood up and said, you know what, in spite of all of this, I want to know what happened to my daughter, what happened to my cousin, what happened to my niece? Where are the men? Because today it seems like all the media wants to do is hush the men, right, and put forward the females. Now, this is not no chauvinistic type of stuff. I'm not going there with that. This ain't no, I'm not going back and forth with that, all right? So I'm not saying females shouldn't. I'm not saying men should this, that, and the third. I'm just saying, where are the men in this particular situation? Because I believe the more men that would come forward on her behalf, part of her regime, her family, I believe that it would cause a lot more pressure to be brought forward. I'm not saying the police ain't doing their job. I'm not saying that these people, what's up, Megalodon? I'm not saying that these people that are coming forward, like the sisters and stuff like that, I'm not saying they ain't doing a good job. But a lot of times when a strong male stands up, it's something about the masculinity, and it's something about the brute force of a man coming forward and addressing these type of situations, right? That's all I'm saying. Now, with the females doing what they're doing, of course, it's natural for the mother to get on the news media and say what she feels and dive into that thing. It's natural. That's supposed to happen. That's her mother and the sister. That's supposed to happen. What was that? What's good? Peace. So it's natural for that. But I want to know, where are the men that are supposed to stand up? A lot of times, right now, the way this whole thing is being pushed, if you look at all the media, it's being pushed that effeminizing the male is the agenda. That's the agenda now. Let's effeminize every single male, whether he's an entertainer, whether he's a sports player, whether he's, salute to all y'all. What's up, Logic? Megalodon, all y'all. So it all of that feminization is being put forward. Why are the people pushing this agenda? So it leads me to this conclusion that they didn't want any males coming forward when they gave this interview. Well, that male that was behind Kenesha's mother could have stood up and said something. But is it that the media is stopping any males from getting into the camera view to say something or getting in there to give any light. I think that if we shed light on why in today's society our males are not being forefront or forthcoming with their presence, with their voice, other than being in the shadows of everything. I want to know, why is this being pushed, and what kind of conclusion can we come up with? Is this something that is part of the agenda to effeminize the men, to make it look like we don't have a voice anymore? When we used to be tribal men, when we used to be warriors, when it came to battle, we was there. When it came to battle, we was in battle, forefront. You know, we fought to the death. That's how it used to be. So why in today's society do we not see any of our males running forward and doing what we're supposed to do? And standing up for our families, standing up for our victims, standing up, period. And that's a sad thing. It's a sad thing when you don't see that. When it's a lack of concern for the men to say, you know what, that's my cousin, and I got to stand up and say something. What I believe happened, what I feel happened, because I'm telling you, the media is hushing them up. They don't want them to go in there and start talking about foul play. This person did it. This person did it. That's why they're not allowing so much of the family, other than the mother and the sister, to get on there and start publicizing what they believe happened. Because one or two things will happen. It will excite the crowd or the masses out there. It will excite them to the point where they will start putting pressure on the police or putting pressure on the people to get to the bottom of this. So I believe in this situation that they started doing that hush-hush thing. Nah, well, we might not want you to say this, or be careful not to say this, or be careful, don't go too far with that. It might incite them, or it might incite a riot, or it might cause this. I mean, because obviously there's some foul play. If you look at the videos, you can hear the girl covering up that they're saying, why are they back there raping the girl? Then you can hear and see different little camera angles where some of the people doing better investigation than I believe the police is. Some of these YouTube folks have got together and put videos and analyzed this stuff to the T, and it seems like they're doing the investigation work more than the actual police is. Because if the police was doing the investigation work intensively, like I believe they should, why wouldn't they have publicized it? I believe they're keeping it hush-hush because they don't want it to blow out to be something greater. They want to keep it low-key. It's already got mass publicity. It already got mass hype behind it. So in order for it not to get gigantic and snowball out of control, I believe the media and certain people put in place is stopping them from being boisterous about the situation. And as sad as it is that the young lady had to lose her life the way she did, being froze to death, that right there alone is a tragic way to die. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that is a tragic way to die. And I can't say some of the recent things that came out about a mother taking pictures and about how they, some of the families doing some weird, odd things. I don't know what I would say in this particular situation and how I would feel, because I've never been in nothing like that. I've had a family member tragically die, but it wasn't a close family member. It was a long distance cousin, but it still was somebody that I knew very well. And my thing about it is, I don't understand why some people do what they do and how they try to cope with the pain. But I do understand to some point. But I do understand at some point, we as the people, have to get to the bottom of what we feel took place and what we feel happened. Whether we whether we feel that it's justified for us to do this or not, I feel that we have to get down to the bottom of it just for the public's sake. All right, baby, I got you. Peace to Queen C. As we look at some of these things, all of the things that are happening now, I want y'all to take notice of the tragedies, things that happen, what gets more hype than other things, what gets more publicity than other things. I want y'all to take a look at how the media portrays something versus the other. How when we look at the broad scope of things, when we look at the broad scope, don't take a narrow approach. Take a broad scope. Look at the overall picture of what we are faced with when we talk about these type of situations, the death of our young babies out here, our teenagers, how we look at that. To me, a young life is snuffed out, cut off. That person could have had children. That person could have been whatever she wanted to be, but a life got cut off. And people are making jokes about it. People are laughing and not taking it seriously until it happens to them. When I look at it, I'm trying to take care about how I deal with this situation. Whether her mother is partying or not, whether she's drinking it up or not, or whatever her mother's doing, I can't say she's wrong or she should be doing a certain thing, because that's her baby, not mine. She's the one lost her child. And to say how she's coping and how she's trying to move mentally beyond the pain of it, I can't say. Maybe she has to do certain things to kind of get over it. You know, I don't know. But I can't say that that's how she's supposed to respond or ain't supposed to respond. People said her sister's not shedding tears. Maybe she's not supposed to. Maybe at another time she might cry. Maybe the reality of it haven't hit her because everything is happening so fast. I don't know. But the people like us that look in on YouTube, the people like us that watch, the people that, you know, give our commentary, some of us could be cold-hearted when we do the commentary. Some of us speaking cold-hearted how we critique the families of the victims. So it's not our place to say what and how another person is supposed to act in a time of a tragedy like this. It's not our place. But what I do know and what I can say is that this tragedy and the way it went down is not normal. You really don't hear about people getting locked in no freezers until after they chopped up. Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff, you know, where they dismembered and they're put in the freezer. But you don't hear them alive in a freezer. You don't hear them. You don't hear about somebody just frozen to death alive. That unless they're in the Antarctic or something crazy like that. So with this type of the way this victim died and the foul play that could be behind it, that's what a lot of people are not looking at. And that right there in itself has to be handled a certain way. It has to be handled a certain way. What was that said? This could be something where they're trying to take the focus off of some things that might come down the pipeline. You know, I'm willing to bet that they're doing some things behind the scenes because eventually there's something else about to happen. You know, there could be some things about to happen that we're not aware of. We might not know. We might not know about what's about to take place. But all I do know is when things start coming up like this, it's always something that comes. It's that big thing that comes next. Always that big wham bam thing that comes next. Usually that's how it happens. You know, when things come up and things start happening, it's not something that just comes out the woodwork. It's always a big wham bam after the smoke clears. So I see this situation as being something tragic to the families, tragic to the loved ones. My heart goes out because I just can't imagine that a mother would have to bury her daughter thinking about how she died. You know, the whole situation is weird. Exactly. I think at best, if we want to analyze it, we know there is some major foul play involved. I just think there was a major foul play role involved in this situation. I think so. I believe so. You know, people might say, well, I don't know. And people might try to use their ignorance not to, you know, not to see the obvious. But the obvious is something did happen. And I just don't believe that the girl is that drunk to go in there. When you get so much of it and you begin to, you know, engulf yourself in watching it and being involved, it's sort of, I'm not going to say it turns you off, but with so many people grabbing a piece of this, with so many people trying to paint their picture about how it happened, I think what it really does, it downplays the actual content of everything. Meaning, what's up, Darkness Awakens? Peace to you, family. What it actually does is it takes on another light. When we should be shedding on the light of this young lady losing her life. So what? Y'all want to talk about how her lifestyle was? So what? Y'all was young before. A lot of the older folks are judgmental. They'll say, well, look at her. She used to drink, smoke weed, and do all that. Okay, so what? A lot of y'all probably did that. And if you didn't, you got some other great sin in your life that's just as worse as that. So my immediate thing when I seen the activities was not for me to judge, because I can remember a time when I used to go to the clubs, used to drink, used to smoke. I used to do those things. So I wasn't quick to judge. I wasn't quick to judge because there's a thing where who knows what she could have became. She had a new job. So obviously she had the best of both worlds going on. She still wanted to party and do like young people. And then she still tried to have a balance with keeping a job or whatever. So there's two things working in there. Now, maybe the influences around her mother and all these other people, maybe they wasn't the best role models and probably kept her divided between the negative activity and doing positive. I could say that, but that's not really the main focus. And a lot of people want to drive that as the main focus. It's not really the main focus when you worry about whether she was smoking weed, making videos. That's trivial to a lot of the stuff that's going on where people are getting murdered out in these streets, cold-bloodedly, shot in the head, shot in the chest, killed. That's stuff that you should say, wow, that's stuff you should bring up on YouTube and on these channels, not talking about whether the girl was a pothead or not. I mean, you know, she lost her life. That's the detrimental part of it. She lost her life and there's foul play, and those who thought they can get away with it should be brought to justice. That's what we should be talking about, not debating all of the other trivial things. I know to make a good show, it's good to bring those points up to make a good lasting show, to make people think, okay, all right, I'll buy that. But that's not really where the focus should be, because I think that the cops, I think that the authorities, everybody that's involved in the media, they will use those things to their advantage to demeanor her, right? Paint that picture. See, her legacy is already the young lady that got froze to death. That's what her legacy is going to be. That's how her legacy is going to go down. The young lady that got froze in the freezer. Not that she could have been prosperous. Not that she could have, you know, had a bright future. Not that she was doing something positive. When her name comes up or pulls up on YouTube or any other sort, that's what it's really going to show. That's her legacy. And the media is going to use that to dampen who she was. She could have been a positive student in school, A's, straight A's, and who knows? We'll never see that light of it because so many other people and so many other things, so many other media news sources and YouTube people and all that want to point out what we know to be the obvious. We know these things to be the obvious, but the media is going to take that, run with it, and now her legacy is going to be just that, what they painted in that news media. And that's a sad thing. Her life was snuffed out young. Young lady didn't even have the opportunity to live a full life and enjoy the successes of life, enjoy life to its fullest. You understand? She didn't get a chance to do that. So now her parents, every time they walk around and they go to YouTube or go somewhere, that's going to flash. It's going to flash right before the news or right before the YouTube clips. All of these clips are going to have all of these demeaning things, nothing positive that's going to be shown about the young lady, all negative. We help the media point out negatives about us. We do that. We help hinder our people. You know, I'm not bringing it to black and white. I'm not even going there, but I'm just saying our young people, instead of encouraging them and saying, you know what, that young lady was on her way to greatness. At least she had a job. You know, she was out of school, graduated, or whatever the case is. A lot of times now, the media is going to paint that negative picture for all our young brothers and sisters. That's the facts, man. That's the facts. That's the facts. When they cover this, their main objective is not going to be, and I know I'm talking about the men in this whole particular live stream, but I want to point these things out also. The men, the media is not going to point out the positive because it always wants to show negative light about us, about what we do, how we live our lives, nothing positive. Oh, that's true. That was. What was that? The news said she walked around for about an hour, yet we see only 5 minutes of footage, which is true. The mainstream media, and this is Darkness Awakens, says the mainstream media never have melanated people in mind, no matter what. That's true. We do made a contribution. That's the way it is. That's the truth. That's the truth. We would never get publicized as in something positive. My main thing is when there's negative like this, why can't we show the positive right along with the negative? So that way people just don't look at all the negative about the situation and drive that. See, because it should be a balance. It should be some positive and negative. They should have came on there. A young lady with a bright future have lost her life. Why couldn't they come on like that? Why couldn't they have said a young lady working at a doctor's office lost her life due to suspicious circumstances or something? Why can't something be positive right along with the negative in a situation that is like this? Now the family got to go and see all of these different videos about what she was, who she was, this, that, and the third. Well, it's not. That's what I'm saying, Logic. Logic says, what's positive about this situation? It's not the situation that I'm talking about. It's the young lady that I'm talking about in this particular situation. It's why couldn't they point out a few positive right along with the negative? You see what I'm saying? Meaning it would soften the impact of so much of the drama that is following this whole YouTube world in commentating about this situation. Why couldn't it be positive right along with negative? They should have pointed out some of the positive things the young lady doing. They could have said she was a graduate. They could have said she just got a job at the doctor's office. They could have said she had a bright future. They could have used some positive narratives to paint the picture, then went into negative. But you know the media is not going to do it. But why have not the YouTube people that are so-called journalists and so-called commentaries people, why couldn't they say something? Yeah. That's media to cover the situation. No doubt. I mean, I'm not saying that they have not tried to, but I think a lot of the people, they could have brought some more positive light to it. Now, with the men, I think that now we see situations like this. A lot of men, they don't want to jump into the scene. They don't want to get themselves out. See, this is the thing about some men. Yeah, YouTube are worse than the media. You're right about that. So this is the thing about men. Some men don't even want to be on the camera. Nah, man, I ain't going to get on no camera, man. Don't put me up there like that, blah, 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 blah. Because of some of the activity they might be involved in. I don't know. I know when I used to be out there, I didn't want to be on no cameras. If something popped off, I was that away. I wasn't trying to be on no cameras. I wasn't trying to be seen. That wasn't no type of thing when it came to, you know, if there's something popped off, that's the first thing you want to be in, especially if your activities and what you do in life is negative. The first thing you do as a man is not want to be on TV. You don't want to be publicized. If you're in the negative lifestyle, that's not what you want. Most men that are in a negative lifestyle, they want to be low key, out of touch, out of sight, out of mind, but doing their thing. Most men that have a different lifestyle as far as them being in maybe the drug game, or maybe they're being in the underworld type of activity, they don't want to be on there. So maybe some of the people in her family might be associated with that. I don't know. I'm asking these answers because it's a good question. I'm asking these questions because it's a good question to ask. Why haven't the men stood up and fended for the family in the death of her loved one? You see what I'm saying? Why haven't the men did that? Because if that was my niece or my daughter or any other sort, I would be on that camera. I will be blasting every single crack, crevice, every single little thing I could. I will be blasting on it to shed light on it. Forcing somebody's hand, whoever. Now, with the young lady they got that was crying, that was trying to kill herself with the knives in her lap and all that good stuff. Who knows? Maybe that pressure might turn her to you know, to confess or say something that she might know. Who knows? But something got to cause a little bit more pressure to start the ball rolling. What y'all think? I think something needs to happen where more pressure needs to be put on those who are supposed to be. I'm not saying they're not doing their job. I heard several YouTube people commentary. Well, the police are doing their job. I'm not saying they're not. But there could be such a lackadaisical about the direction they should go. Come here, Mason. Give me that. All right. You don't need to do that. You're going to mess it up. All right. Finish watching that. There's such a lax. Okay, so true. Now, Megalodon, good point, my brother. Megalodon said maybe they are scared of the gangs. Maybe the men are scared of the gangs. Now, when it comes to that, being scared of gangs when it's your family, I'm saying this. What would you do? Your sweet place, what's up? What would you do if that was your niece or your daughter? Would you just not go on there because it's gang activity affiliated? Would you just not go on there and say something or speak some peace about it? Because it's crazy to just fathom that even if it was some gang play, you still want justice. You just don't want it to go by without having justice for your loved one. I don't care if it's gang related or not. Why wouldn't you want justice if that was your daughter? Yep. And the Darkness Awakens says we have to seek the truth no matter what. No matter what is in our community. True. And that's our downfall. True. Just a few doing it. Just a few doing it, but still it's not enough. That's true. We can't rely on the system. That's right. So it is up to us and our communities to find out. Factual, truthful, all the way down the line. I agree 100% with what you said. It is up to us. It is up to those people in the community. And we ain't got time for talking about, well, it's gangs, and we ain't got time to talk about if my baby was done like that. I'm telling you, it would be some steep consequences. I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to be tough or make myself seem tough. I think there would be a borderline insanity that would go along with that narrative. To know that she died in that way, somebody did that, it would be borderline insanity being drove right along with that narrative. I would probably go crazy. You understand me? Crazy. I'll be looking at every video, every face, every person that was in those videos, gang related or not. I'll be looking, scoping, I'll be stalking, chasing. It would be some craziness going on. And of course, the police will let us handle it. I'm telling you now, if I got wind that somebody was involved, I would be picking and taking people out. I would be borderline crazy when it comes to that, man. It's just what it is. This situation ain't time for their family to be relaxed about it, make a couple of YouTube things and try to expect $1 million out of it. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? People think that when these tragedies happen, your phone messing up logic. People think when these tragedies happen automatically they get paid or they get money out of it. Don't wait on the money. Don't wait on anything like that to happen. You better go seek justice, put pressure on these people to move forward and get some victims. I mean, get some people that was a part of this stuff, bring them forward. It ain't time for, let us handle it, because they might not be trying to seek or might not be trying to go against the gang members. You see what I'm saying? It might, especially in Chicago. They know how vicious those gang members are in Chicago, but they might not be trying to do that because they're not trying to incite or allow something to occur that would go left or go wrong. But what I will say is, as the family, at least they could say something. They can say something. Maybe they don't want to, but the men should at least stand up and let the people see and let the people know that their presence will be felt and their voice will be heard. Gangs or not, they should at least have that much man in them, because we are the protectors of our family. We are the protectors of our children, our wives, our babies. We are the men. I know society wants the women to be, but I'm sorry. The men should be the protectors of their family. Not allowing the women to go out there strapped up, armed up, ready. No, it should be us men ready to defend the family. Kudos to women that do that. Kudos to the women that strap up and go out there and defend their family. But the men should, by all means, be on that front line, speaking out for their daughter, speaking out for their cousin, speaking out for their niece, what have you. I won't relinquish off of that right there. Peace, truthfully honest. Shalom, peace, sis. I won't relinquish off of that. Because anytime that something like this occurs, something like this happens, and you don't stand up, you're sending a clear sign to those who are involved in this situation that nothing is going to happen. First of all, they said they raped her. But that alone should be enough to cause you to get out of your seat, man. Go up there, start barking, screaming, hollering, yelling, and going forward with it. Moving forward. That alone, that somebody raped, it took the innocence of your daughter or your niece or loved one or whatever. Took the innocence. Not freely or willingly, but took it. No matter where she was. So what, she was in a hotel. So what, she was at a party. So what, all of that. Get beyond that. They took it. Gang raped her. Allegedly. So when you hear that, when you hear the situation like that, when you hear how it transpired, that should allow any man to get up out of his seat and be angry about it and should be speaking about it. In the video, whoever that was behind the mother, I would have pushed out, all right, my turn, let me get up in there. I don't care. I would have went off in front of those cameras. Ain't no Jesse Jackson, ain't no Al Sharpton could have calmed me down. If that was one of her loved ones or her father or whoever, stepfather, I would have, it's my turn. All right, you said it. I would have went in. I would have had to say what I had to say. I would have had to put some messages out there. And whether it would have been my life on the line, that's what should have been done. If my life was going to be on the line, at least I'm sending a signal to the people that done this that we're not going to lay down and allow this to go the way you think it's going to go, but you getting away with it scot-free. I just would have had to do that. Now, with all that being said, I think that we as adults should own up to where we're lacking at and do better in our communities with this type of stuff. Because if my son was being hurt or was out there or doing anything, I'm telling you, I'll be the first one in that front line, banging, doing whatever I got to do to make my presence known. I would do that. That's my babies. I love them to death. I raised them. And that's what has to happen. You feel me? I'm telling you, that's what would have to happen. It would not be a situation where I would be so quiet and so docile, letting my wife speak, letting her get her words out and her frustration about it. No, you would feel and know my presence about what I think about the situation. And I think that all of the men that's in the wife's corner, all of the men that's involved in the family's lives, whether it's cousin, mother, whoever, they should be speaking up. This is the time. You letting YouTube do more speaking than you do for your own family. And even if the media is trying to shut you up, I would tell them, nah, if you want this story, I'm going to have to speak my piece about it. If you want to interview me or my wife or my that's my stepdaughter or whatever, I got to say what I got to say as the man of this household before we even continue with the interview. If you want to interview me, this is what got to be said, and I got to be the one to say it. And if she got to say her thing, that's her daughter, she going to say it. And that's my daughter, whatever. That's how we should be standing up. Where'd you get that from? Go put that back. That's how we should be standing up for our families, and that's how we should be standing up, speaking verbally right to the issues. That's why I thought about this, is where all the men in this situation and in every situation that is coming out, why haven't the men been so forceful about what needs to take place and about why these things are occurring? We need to be more vocal. We don't need no spokesman anymore. Al Sharpton and all these other brothers trying to calm everything down. We don't need this. Push them brothers out the way. We don't need that no more. Forget that. Those days are over. They're not getting paid $250,000 to speak and calm us down anymore. It should not be like that. We should stand up and say what has to be said. Period. You might not like my approach. You might not like my stance in it, but I'm trying to tell you, this is what we have to do. Come here, Mason. Come here. I put Clifford on so you can watch Clifford, all right? Come say hey to the people so you can sit down. Come on. Hey. Look. Say hey. Hey. All right. Sit and finish watching Clifford for me, all right? My man. Now. We should be the ones standing up, you know? Not all of these other spokesmen, not all of these other, we, us, the men of the household, cousins, brothers, sisters, whoever, we should be the one. We should lead the charge. I should change the title. Why haven't men been leading the charge in our today's affairs? I might change the title to that. Why haven't us men been leading the charge? When we should be leading the charge. We should. Have nothing against nobody else doing what they do. No other race, no other gender. But I think men should be leading the charge. Have nothing against how people do what they do. But I think, and I promote that the men should stand up and lead the charge. And all of the things that are taking place, they should hear our voice. Back when the Black Panthers was, it was a proud thing to be who you was. But not only that, before they got infiltrated and before they started all that other madness, they was proud to stand up as individuals and as a collective. You see what I'm saying? As an individual and as a collective, men stood up. When they came out, they was strapped up, they was ready, they was battling, they was fighting, whatever needed to take place back in the 60s, early 70s, they did. They did it. They didn't play around. They didn't relinquish. They stood up. And all I'm saying is, where are the men today? I'm going to go back in with another live stream. I'm going to be live streaming from various places, so y'all stay tuned. But I'm going to go back in a little later. So I got to make a couple of errands. I let time get away from me while my computer was geeking. Not my, I was trying through my laptop, that Toshiba stuff, whatever, that stuff, man. These computers act stupid sometimes. But I want to say peace to all of you guys. Thank you for being in the chat. I'm going to cut this and I'm coming back. We're going to go in, all right? I got to do a few things to the bike because, got to do a few things to the Spider-Man bike I got. Clean it up, wipe it down, and then I got to get ready to get in. Got some things to do, but I did want to say this. Peace to all of you brothers and sisters out there. I did want to say peace to all of you. Did want to say big up to all of my brothers and sisters. Truthfully honest, it's good to see you. I want to say peace to you, sis. You was in that car accident. Glad you well. Glad you back on the scene. What was that peace to you? Your sweet place. Your sweet place, man. You be handling them chats, man. You just be destroying people in the chats, man. No doubt, man. Me and Logic, man, we gotta definitely big up the people that control and hold down the chat while we trying to do our thing. And I definitely gotta make you a moderator too. So let me get you in there. And what was that also? You know, I'm not favoring one versus the other. All of y'all do a great job. So you're in sweet place. You're definitely a mod. Hold on. All right, you're definitely a mod. So, all right, you're modded. Now, I wanted to say this. Now, Logic rolls with me. Logic is my dude. That's my main man. Me and his family have been building. The brother, in all sincerity, has been an asset and a blessing to converse with the brother and to have him a part of Ace Corner Talk, and me vice versa. So I big Logic up, thank him for his input. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Logic have taught me some things. See, men get to the point where they think they're not teachable, and that's a bad place to be in. Always be open to be taught. Always be open to learn. And I thank God that I'm not the type of closed-minded person that I can't learn from somebody. I can learn from anybody. But I've learned things from the brother, and I've learned things, key things that I think have enhanced what I do. So I big up Logic. But I did want to say this, Truthfully Honest and Logic. Both of y'all are good people. Both of y'all are good people. I rocks with both of y'all. And I just noticed that in the chat, y'all might not have called on each other or acknowledged each other. I don't think there's an issue there, but I do think that we that have channels, we need to start working together. Listen and hear me out, because I really got to go. But listen and hear me out. Us that have channels and support each other from one channel to the next, we got to learn how to take the positive, build on the positive, and move forward. There's going to be things you don't like about me, and there's going to be things I don't like about you. But what I do think that's going to be positive to start changing the direction of YouTube in our small particular diameter. I'm not talking about the broad scope of YouTube. I'm just talking about our small, broad diameter until we start broadening our horizon. But what I think is good for us to start pulling together and to start just working, you understand, to make what we do stronger and positive. What's up, DS1? Peace to you. So I don't think there's differences. I know there might be differences because we all got differences. But if there's anything that would separate us from building on positive and moving forward, because I know the sister got positive things, man. You know, I know the sister got some positive work. She got to work in her, man. And I think she always, you know, from when I seen her building on her channel and whatnot, she came under a lot of scrutiny like we did. But the thing is, I've seen her triumph over that. See, when you're a type of person that can triumph over the negativity and still move forward, that shows me a lot about you, right? So me, Logic, we moving forward with what we're doing, and the people that support us, we wanna continue to build with positive people, even though our differences might be small. But I think the positive things we can build on can make this small part of our YouTube corner bigger than ever, conquering and overtaking all of the other channels that are out there that just garbage or just offer garbage. You feel me? So what I am saying is, Logic, my main man, Truthfully Honest, hopefully one day we all could come together and start building to make what we do more effective and more positive. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. I really do. I really mean that with all sincerity, that in hopes in the future. Might not be now. It might not be in the next couple of weeks, whenever. I just pray and hope that in the future that we can come together and start making the strongest impact that anybody has ever seen on YouTube. That's what I'm praying. Me and Logic have lasted through a lot of the stuff we've been through, man. And we still are good friends. And we still, up until this day, man, have been more cordial, more open-minded about what we're doing. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. People try to infiltrate. People try to divide. They try to put me against him against me. All kind of stuff. And we just steamrolled right through all of that. Even though that brother thinks different than me, even though his beliefs are different than me, we still try to reinvent things that are going to help us move forward. And I big that brother up for that. So with that being said, Truthfully Honest, I'm telling you, we built it we was on the Hangout building. So what I feel and what I think would be very positive is that at some particular time, we can get together and start building at some particular time. I won't speak for Logic. All I will say is the brother's about building with positive people and about not being on the small level. I know that. I know that. He don't want to deal with the small stuff no more. He wants to move forward with positive stuff. He's done playing with small stuff. I can't speak for him, but what I will say is what I feel and what I hope for. I hope that we can do this. Hope we can build and come together. We ain't trying to be a family. And if we do, that's a positive. But what I am saying is if we can come together and keep business and keep what we're doing on the same plateau and move forward, that's going to be positive. You know, and DS1, I know I haven't had a chance to build with you. I see you in the chats and this, that, and the third, but I listen and I hear things. You know, I feel at some particular time we have to morph from what we're doing from the old to the new. You see what I'm saying? I feel like at some particular time, all of us have to reinvent to make something better. And you know, I listen to what people say, and I listen to what people, and I watch what people do. And if at some particular time we can come together and start making powerful moves, we are going to dominate by far. By far. So I appreciate all y'all support. More love to all of y'all, man. Bigging up all of y'all. I'm going to come back a little later with another live stream. I just got to go. But all of y'all, much respect. Much respect. Hopefully, like I said, in this near coming up future, we will all find a common ground to work on, whatever it may be. You know, everybody has their own place and their own strong points and their own niche. I don't know everything. Don't claim it. I'm looking to learn something from one of you. That's how I am. I'm looking to learn something. You understand? If there's somebody you can't learn from, what's the use of having them in your corner? You should be able to learn something from everybody that's around you, whoever it is. If they're there and you ain't learning, what's the point of having them in your corner? So I look to learn. I look for input. I look for feedback because I'm still in my learning stages. There's things I do know, and there's things I'm strong about, and there's things that I know and I'm real passionate about, but there's a lot of things I don't know. Like I said, when me and Logic, we begin to build, there's a lot of things I really understand. Like I just don't know things. And I'm learning as I go along, adding to what I do know. And I believe the brother learned from me as well. And he even said it. So I think when we get out of the frame of mind of being closed-minded and be broad opening to things to learn, I think that we're going to be powerful. So with that being said, peace to everybody. I thank you for joining today's live stream. We got more to come. So I thank all of the family for coming in this place. You know, I'm done with trying to I'm done. Let me make this statement. I'm done with trying to make it known about who I am. I thought maybe that was an approach a while back, but I know now there's no need. Whoever I am is who I am. You either like it or you don't. You either rock with it or you don't. And I think that the more that I'm staying true to who I am, the more I find myself being more expressive about what I say and what I do. You know, I'm very honest, brutally honest person. I think sometimes that's a downfall. But then if that's who I am, I just got to be honest and stay true to that. I can't negate from that because once I do those things, then it sort of waters down my personality, and I don't want to do that. I'm a bubbly, funny, outgoing person, and I'm going to continue to be that. I spent earlier part of my life in a lot of negativity, and I don't think that I'm going to go back down that road because that was a dark place in my life, and I don't want to be that. I'm trying to continue to be positive because I got my family and my boys watching me. The dark place when I used to be in that lifestyle of ganging and doing those things, that is not what I want, because the friends that I did it with, they're gone. To be honest with you, the friends that I actually was in the lifestyle with when it came to shooting guns, busting guns, most of them are locked up, most of them are dead, and that's the honest truth. So I'm not going down that road, and I can't be pulled back. So I build in with positive people. I'm staying on a positive plateau, and everybody that's going to come aboard with Ace and Logic, um, we're going to do some great things. We got some great things coming. So truthfully honest, Logic, y'all, all of us that are coming together, what was that? Your sweet place. All of those who are real supporters, be excited about things that are coming. Be very excited about it. All right? Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and I'll see y'all when I come back. Peace. Here we go.